So let's go back to running our test and see where we are. We'll run make test here, and it shows us that we're passing the first three tests, but we're failing this one called usage. And so let's take a moment to understand what a usage statement is. We've used the program chmod a couple times, and we can actually run this program with the -h flag or --help. So either one of these is very common for command line programs to tell you how they can be used. So here, actually, when I ran it with --help, it actually said it doesn't know what that is. It said that's an illegal option. And then it shows me here in both instances usage. So this is saying here's how I want to be used. And so we'd like to be able to actually there's no usage for our program because it only does one thing right now. It only ever says hello, and there's nothing else that can be done with it. But there's also no way for it to respond to -h. It doesn't know what to do with -h. It doesn't even recognize that that is something that it can be done. And so let's take a step back and think about what it would mean to be able to, first off, add what's called a parameter to our program so that it will do something other than always say hello world. For instance, we'd like for it to be able to pass it an argument to make it say hello to something else. If we were to write a string diagram to illustrate this, right now our program takes no input and always creates the same output of hello world. If we wanted to make the program to say hello universe, right now we'd have to go in and actually change the program, the source code itself, and now if we run our program, it will say hello universe, but we'd like to be able to pass that in as an argument and have it say hello to the universe instead of having to change this. So the question is, how do we make that happen? And additionally, if we have a program that we could pass in an argument and it would say hello to that, we'd like for the program to be able to respond to -h to give us here a usage statement, where it says the usage is that you run me with hello.py, maybe with an h flag, and I want a name, and that name is going to be something I'm going to greet. Notice here that this program, when we run it with -h, is saying that it accepts a positional argument, meaning that its significance is because of its relation, its position in relation to the executable. So it's the first thing that follows after the name of the program is the name, and so it's a positional argument. It's the name to greet here. So in order to make this happen, we're going to add a few lines of code, and so let's figure out how to make this happen. I'm going to copy these lines of code. The first thing I'm going to use is I'm going to have to import argparse. So we're going to be using a module to parse the command line arguments for us. And it's called argparse, and in order to use it, we have to import it, import argparse. Now we're able to use the argparse module. And we're going to, for the moment, I suggest that you type these out, but since I've typed them out before and to go a little faster, I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to copy this line of code, and it's going to create something that's going to parse the command line arguments for me. And I'm using the method argparse argument parser to create a parser. And the description here is what's going to print here. If we look at over here, this. Say hello. This is going to be the description of the program. That's what is this right here. The next line that we need to add is this, where we're going to add an argument to our program. We're going to say our program takes one argument, and we're going to call it name. And this is the name to greet. And this help is what's going to show up here. It's the showing the name is this positional argument, and here's the help that's going to be shown for that. And now the next thing to do is to ask argparse to actually parse the command line arguments for us. And if at this point we just want to see what those look like, we could say print args. And let's just see what we get. I'm going to change this back to hello world. We're going to deal with that in just a moment. So if I run this right now, hello, it says it won't run now because it's saying, I won't run because I am requiring you to give me a name to greet. So let's give it a name. Let's give it universe. And we see here when we print args that it's printing this thing called a namespace, and inside of it has name equals universe. It's still also printing hello world because that's hard-coded. What we want to do is to change this so that it will print the thing that has been passed in as the name. We can do that by accessing the name. We can say name, whoops, over here. We can say name is equal to args.name. And now we have the name that has been passed in. We're getting it out of this namespace object. And in order to use this, we can use plus signs to say concatenate the word hello plus our name plus an exclamation point. So this is a way of creating a new string that incorporates the name that was passed in to us from the user. If I save this and run it, now notice the magic. If I try to run this program with no arguments, it won't let me. It's requiring the user to provide a name. And it's actually presenting a really nice usage statement when we don't provide the right, we don't run the program in the right way. So now if I say hello world, it prints hello world. But if I say hello Terra, it'll say hello Terra. And I can say hello to the universe. And it will say hello universe. So the thing that I wanted to be variable about the program becomes an argument to the program. So now we have a program that will dynamically respond to the command line argument. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to make this into an option.